Joining us next is Verifone. Verifone is a multinational company that provides innovative technology for electronic payment transactions and value-added services at the point of sale. Verifone is built upon a 37-year history of commitment to consistently solving the most complex payments challenges. Today, we're very excited as Mach, the President of Americas at Verifone, and Imran, the VP of Innovation, will discuss the company's new mission for inclusive payments, unveiling a bold new solution and its implications for both the merchants and the customers.
Thank you. Good morning. I'd ask how everyone's doing, but you got headphones on, so I guess you won't respond. But as it just introduced, Mach with Verifone. Imran is here with me as well. Imran's VP of Innovation. We did a press release yesterday. We're here to talk about a new solution that we just introduced called Navigator. Navigator is a PIN entry solution that enables a visually impaired person to securely enter a PIN onto a full touchscreen device. We're going to start out, I'm going to go through the presentation here for a few minutes. We've got a video from RNIB, and then we're going to do a quick demonstration at the end. Sorry, it's a little bit behind. Okay, so the first stat is, apologize, 5% of the world's population is visually impaired. And what we're seeing is a huge rush towards a digital society. If you think back to 2007, when Steve Jobs first introduced the iPhone, we had a solution that was an iPod for music, a phone, as well as an internet device. Fast forward 11 years, and what do we see? We've got a global population of 7.5 billion people, but what you see is you've got 5 billion unique mobile users. The vast majority of these mobile devices are full touchscreen solutions. As we carry this into retail, what you see is inside of retail, a lot of what we talk about is creating unique experiences for the consumers coming into the stores. Some of those experiences could be a kiosk, could be an endless aisle, could be a mobile point of sale, could be a unique experience that we're trying to do at the checkout counter. And a lot of these want to use the same technology that we use inside of consumer electronics inside of retail. And so the problem has been, how do we create a unique experience on a full touchscreen solution, but have something that works for the visually impaired? And there hasn't been a solution. There's always been a choice of, do I put something in that has a tactile keypad, or do I put something that works for the visually impaired, or do I have something that creates that unique experience, but it doesn't deal with that segment of my customer base. But now we have a solution that's accessible to all. All right, so this has been a 2-year journey for Verifone, thinking about how do we say that we want to bring these unique experiences again through full touchscreen devices, but have something that works for 100% of the population. What you used to see inside of retail was a retailer would have a choice of, do I want to focus on PCI compliance, so I have a secure solution, or do I want to have a solution that's inclusive so that a visually impaired person can enter their PIN number? What retailers had to do was they would have to, if they had a full touchscreen solution, they'd have to put an overlay on top of their payment terminal, which would void their PCI security certification. So they had a choice. What we've got through this software-based solution, we now allow you to have the best of both worlds, which is a unique experience combined with something that works for those that are visually impaired as well as partially sighted. How did we get here? We knew that consumer electronics and the influences they were having on us as consumers were coming to retail. So 2 years ago, we started this journey, working closely with the leading national blind associations. And it was a very iterative process where we looked at different solutions. I remember being with Imran, and he'd show me something we were looking at, showing me something we would look at. And eventually, we found the solution that's endorsed by these groups. And it's both an intuitive experience as well as something with high accuracy as well as consumer satisfaction. As you saw in the video, what really makes me excited about this solution is instead of just looking at, hey, how do we do the minimum requirements so that a visually impaired person can interact with a full touchscreen device, we try to figure out how do we make that experience better than what they would get through a tactile keypad. So as you saw in the video, what you've got is, if I'm visually impaired, I've got the ability both through audio as well as through touch on the screen to figure out what my PIN is. The audio feedback is huge, right? If you think about a visually impaired person, if the cashier says, hey, it's going to be $12, but they actually ring up $15, there's some confidence that can be lost there. Now it's the actual machine telling the customer what the amount is, allowing them to enter the PIN. And then, of course, you've got the partially sighted, where they may be able to see, but they may have issues with shades or colors or fonts. So really what we've delivered here is a solution that both meets the requirements, but actually enhances the experience. I'd like to hand it over to Imran for a second to do a live demonstration.
Hi, thank you, Joe. My name is Imran Haji Musa. I'm the VP of Innovation and also adjunct faculty member at two of the universities on mobile payments and e-commerce security. If I can get the camera on the screen. All right, so if you can close up. So basically, working with the blind associations around the world, it's been a humbling experience. We tried 7 different methods to begin with, using scribbling the numbers on the screen, using Braille, and then we came to the conclusion that the solution has to be very intuitive, very simple, should not require a lot of learning. All the technology that we have built in is to prevent making the mistakes, helping people go through the journey of commerce easily. So I'll show you 2 methods. One is for the partially sighted, one is for the visually impaired, completely blind. So let me start with this. Basically, this symbol here, what you see, AAA, is becoming a universal symbol for accessibility around the world. If you go to the web, you can see that stuff. So a partially sighted person, when he sees this stuff, he can press this button, and then he will see a higher contrast. He will see a high contrast display and instructions how to enter the PIN. And then basically he can just go.
4 digits.
Authorizing. Please wait. Payment approved.
And a lot of people are actually colorblind, and they have different color blindness. They have tunnel vision. So for that, we offer the possibility that you can change the color that suits you the best. So for example, you can go to this color, and the whole of the transaction will be carried out in this background and foreground color going forward there. Similarly, if you are fully blind, visually impaired, what you can do is you can hear this tone and start the accessibility mode. The total amount is read to you, so you're sure that you are getting the right amount that you charge for. And there are certain instructions being played for you. And basically, based on these instructions, you can enter the PIN.
Total amount is 200.
Digits entered.
So it tells you also how many digits you entered.
OK button.
And then you go to the OK button, tells you OK button.
Authorizing. Please wait.
And the transaction is complete.
Payment approved.
It sounds very intuitive and simple. It has to be intuitive and simple. All the technology that is in there is to prevent the mistakes. So we prevent a lot of mistakes in the background. And if you make the mistakes, we try to eliminate them so that you don't make three times the wrong pin there. I must say, this is just the beginning. We have this solution. We are expecting it globally launched now. And I think the technology will further go and develop much more better solutions in the future. So we are totally excited about it. Thank you.
Imran, that was fantastic. This has been something he's been working on for the past 2 years. We are launching this globally on all of our full touchscreen devices. So if you stop by our booth, 1223, I think it is. I apologize, I forget the number. We're showing this on the Carbon 10 that you can see it there. But we'll be launching this on our E280, our Carbon Mobile 5, and a full line of Android products we'll be announcing over the next 12 to 18 months. So thank you. Enjoyed it. I appreciate your time.